So today's mic talk's a little different. I'm sitting down with Chris Baressa from EdgeTec. This is the guy that we trust to choose. He helps us choose our trucks. He helps us spec our trucks, make sure that they're what we want. Today we took delivery of an 1150 Rotator. Not a small purchase. For a business our size, it's more expensive than our house. So that's a lot of thought goes into that. So I want to talk about why having the right dealer and the right service partner matters just as much as the piece of equipment. And that's where we're going to get started.
So Rotator isn't just an impulse buy. It's a revenue tool and a risk if it's wrong. So it really is important that we have the right dealer.
Absolutely. And every towing company, they boom ratings, stuff like that, they think about that kind of thing. But what I see is not enough actually think about the support after the sale. And I'm sure you've seen that as well.
Like we pulled it into yard just a minute ago, and the guys were asking how long it was going to hang out here before we actually put it out to work. And literally, we've got our decal guy coming tonight to put temp stickers on it so it can run.
Yeah, and if we didn't have the right dealer that spec'd out the right truck, not blowing smoke up your butt, but if we didn't have that, then we'd have to
sitting around for another week or two waiting on all the
costs you
correct
money to sit
equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay, so when a towing company calls you about a Rotator, what's the first thing you're trying to understand about their operation?
Just really it's their intended use, because not everybody uses a Rotator the same way. A lot of it has to do, what do they anticipate lifting? Are they going to tow with it? Is it just going to be a lifting machine? Is it going to be both? How much are they lifting? There's lots of little details that we got to figure out before we understand really what the right machine is for that particular company.
that makes sense. It's just like with us, we have a 1075 that's our recovery heavy lifting truck, and the 1150 is absolutely a recovery heavy lifting truck, but it's also a tow truck, where the 1075 can tow, but in our thoughts, it's not an everyday tow truck, and I think that's
It's not as practical
Yeah.
for everyday towing.
Yeah, 84,000 pounds at 4 miles a gallon kind of
Yeah.
makes tractor swapping a little hard to be profitable in.
What mistakes do you see companies make when they buy based off of price alone?
A lot of times are we really comparing apples to apples? It's very rare that you see two pieces of equipment that are identical. A Rotator is not the same, because you got two different, from a Miller standpoint, you got 1150 and the 1075, but it's what chassis do you want? How long do you want the truck? 75 tons versus 50 tons. The other thing is, you're going to have it serviced. What are you going to do then? There's the long-term sustainability of that piece of equipment.
But, what we've seen is, and we've looked at specs from other dealers. Everybody knows that, especially when in COVID, you couldn't get everything that a company had to have, and, it was difficult, but you'd see trucks that were spec'd with, a higher rear gear or a lower rear gear, and, or wrong axle weights. I think I looked at one Rotator that had a 16,000 pound steer axle during COVID, and I don't really know how that happened, but for us, that's not going to work just off of, the weight that these trucks are running around. So having the right dealer in that standpoint, knowing how to properly spec a truck is craziness if you don't have it.
Yeah. And a lot of it is what state are you in?
Right.
You got length requirements in certain states, other states you don't.
Yeah.
Types of lift axles, those kind of things. So it's very, it's different for all over the country. So where that customer is, what they're going to use it for, there's a lot of factors that come into play.
Yeah, because here in Texas, we're not limited to 40 feet like most states.
Correct.
You know, most states, I believe it's 40 foot that is all you can be. And then, you know, on the consumer side of it, you need to be paying attention that you're going to have to resell that piece of equipment at some point in time. You know, so if you have a dealer that builds you a truck that's 42 feet long, well, all of a sudden you've cut your ability to resell that significantly. I mean, I would assume.
Yeah.
You know, because, and you know, it's like we had an 1140, you know, a couple of years back that we were going to sell, and we were going to sell it to a guy in California, but they couldn't have a steerable tag. So he was, you know, he was automatically out on it because he was going to have to spend, you know, $10,000 or $15,000 converting it over to a dual, you know, dual tire non-steerable tag to be able to run it in that state, which is stuff that you guys know that I didn't at the time. You know, so that's the thing. A good dealer isn't just selling the iron. He's you know, avoiding those expensive mistakes like that, you know, because you do want to be able to resell a piece of equipment. You know, for us, everything has a timeline.
How often do customers come back and say, I wish I would have done this differently about a build or?
I mean, it happens. You know, sometimes the dealer didn't ask the right questions, or maybe the customer just didn't know what questions to ask. It does happen, and we do everything we can to, you know, change things up to make it fit their particular situation. Doesn't happen real often, but what we try to do, we try to stay aware of what, especially in our market, kind of what's the common things, known things, so we don't, you know, less likely to make a mistake. And you know, there's some things that can be modified after the fact, and there's some things that can't. And so it's better to plan ahead and fully both parties can fully understand what we're trying to accomplish, how we're going to use this piece of equipment, what we're going to be doing with it. It's just, you can spend, you know, several days just figuring those things out, so you get it right the first time, and that's important.
Oh, absolutely. And not to mention, I mean, who hasn't seen a heavy duty wrecker with a messed up, you know, CV length, and so then they've got a big, you know, 18-inch gap behind the cab in front of the box. Nobody wants that. That would. What do you think? That would drive me nuts. Can you imagine if I had a big old empty gap? A guy local south of us ran into that issue with a truck, and they had to like do some crazy stuff to build a part of the body to go in there. And he complains about it pretty regular.
And it can be expensive to fix after the fact too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then y'all have like a Miller rep, like it used to be Warren, and I guess now it's Steven, and I met him today. I haven't ever had that level of, you know, not only dealer involvement, but manufacturer involvement anywhere else. You know, and we have in the past, we've made some mistakes, bought some J-Vans, you know. We've never bought an NRC, thank God. You know, I don't know how you get a Canadian person to help you with, you know, your American truck not working. Kidding again, guys, just a joke. If you like an RC, you know, we've all been wrong before.
Politically incorrect over here.
He doesn't sell an RC. He doesn't have anything against an RC, but I do. Just kidding. So what a lot of guys, what I see, you know, for us, downtime is the most expensive part of any repair.
And it's never during 9 to 5. It's always 2 a.m. On the side of the highway.
100%. If we break one, it's going to be the most inopportune time.
With a customer's unit on the back.
Yeah. So there's nothing like, you know, a heavy duty hooked to a heavy duty that's hooked to a customer's truck, and you're trying to get it where it needs to go, or, you know, figuring out how to unhook it. But the one thing that has helped us is the relationship we have with you guys, you know, and Charlie Daniels, a smoke wrench, Roper, you know.
Good old Roper.
Roper, I mean, I can call Roper at 4 o'clock in the morning and say, hey dude, I've got a truck down, and he's like, well, I'll be at the shop in an hour, you know, bring it on. You don't get that with most dealers. I'm gonna say, out of every dealer that we've ever dealt with, not that the majority haven't been helpful, I haven't gotten that kind of service from anybody.
It's a different level of service.
But you
We'll say
guys.
that.
That's certainly that's something that we focus on internally, is providing a higher level of service and standard that you're not going to find other places. Places that I've been in, other careers that I've been in.
Mm-hmm.
When a truck breaks down, you don't schedule that breakdown. It happens, and we do everything we can to react. We also try to find ways to let the customer know, hey, just so you know, this does not look good. You may want to at least give them a heads up saying this is going to fail, or this could fail at some point in the future.
Absolutely.
You can defer repairs now. That's fine. It's your choice. But things are going to break. Mishaps happen.
Yeah.
And we do our best to keep the right parts in inventory, keep the right level of technicians ready to be able to react fast, especially the people and the customers that buy from EdgeTec.
Well, I will tell you, your inventory and your techs are absolutely, that's the number one thing. I mean, even down to our operators, they know, like, I can't tell you the last time y'all had to order me something, that wasn't a big ticket item that you just wouldn't stock normally. But 99% of the failures we have, y'all got the parts to fix it in stock.
Right. And that's the delicate balance is that, Miller's got 50,000 some odd part numbers, and you can't keep one of everything.
Right.
But we do our best to understand what the weak points are, especially you've got, there are wear items on anything that's mechanical.
Absolutely.
We keep those in stock the best we can, and that just helps us be able to react faster, to get the repairs made and get the truck back up and running. Because it is costing you money at the end of the day when it's sitting in my lot.
And that's what we try to, we understand it. I don't know that, guys that are newer to this industry understand, the cost of the repair. Let's say it's not a warranty repair, which most of our stuff is warranty repair, I believe. I'd say it's probably 50-50 mix. But what most guys I see they're not grasping is they're looking at that dollar amount to fix the truck. For us, we hardly ever focus too much on the dollar
More
amount.
the downtime.
I would rather pay a $5,000 repair bill and have a truck up 2 days later than to have a truck down for 10 days, because I promise you that
The truck's
10
still
days,
not making money, and
you're still paying an operator, you're still
You're
paying
not saving
insurance. We've got, think about it, if we down a heavy duty wrecker that makes $3,000 a day on the low end, well, that $5,000 repair is nothing compared to being down for 10 days.
Correct.
Luckily we're a company that has the bandwidth that if we had to down a truck for 10 days, we could do that. And we have enough bandwidth to move that work somewhere else. But a smaller company, if you've got one truck and it goes down for 10 days and it could have been down for 1 or 2, you've lost a lot of work, a lot of money. You've lost long-term relationships at that point because you've got customers that you run able to service. And for us, that's the most important thing, is that we can pick up the phone, call your office, call your guys on their cell phone, call you on your cell phone. And I'm gonna put his cell phone in the link right here, so that if anybody wants to get in touch with him.
I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, we're going. But
direct line to Chris Baressa.
That's the red phone in my office.
yeah. But the number one thing for us is that we can pick up the phone, let you know it's coming. Trucks at Health, sometimes we bring them and y'all don't even know they're coming, and y'all, and Roper's really awesome about getting on our stuff. So you've done great there.
Thank you. Appreciate
Very happy with that. So, to all you owners out there that are watching, if you're shopping for a wrecker of any kind, a rotator, a light duty, a carrier, whatever that may be, your question doesn't need to be how much is it. I mean, not that the price doesn't
Price still
matter.
matters.
Price matters, but price does not need to be your driving factor.
Yeah.
There's so many more things that go into it, and your market, like where we're at, we don't have, I don't feel that I have the strongest dealer options for other manufacturers. And I think we got really lucky having EdgeTec, So I guess my question is this: so let's say that I wasn't local, let's say that I bought a truck from you from Louisiana. I'm 5 hours away. How does that differentiate the level of service that a guy would get?
Well, obviously, being further away does impact accessibility to handle a repair or a defect. We still have means to, we have relationships in other parts of the country where we can lean on to help. If it's a unit we sold, we're going to own that problem, whether it's our problem or not. It's our customer that we're going to take care of, and that's what's most important. It does, being longer distance does present some challenges to be able to react and to find a solution, but we work just as hard finding a solution for the customer that's further away or just across town. We can overnight parts. We've got some relationships with other repair shops that can come in and assist. Miller's got a great network of experts from all the chassis brands, and even internally, Miller's does a great job supporting us to help get resolution on that problem.
Absolutely. So distance doesn't deter the type of service they're going to get from EdgeTec. And I think that matters to some people, for sure. If it doesn't, if the service after the sale doesn't matter to you, you really take a step back and look at what you're dealing with. Think about the parts. Think about who you're going to call after hours. Like we've talked about Roper a couple of times. It wasn't that long ago. I was having a 2-speed issue with a winch, and it was 10:30 at night, and I tried a guy at the Miller factory that didn't answer. And I didn't really want to bother Roper at 10:30, but I was kind of like, oh crap, I really don't have any other options. I don't know. And I called him, and he answered on the second ring. He was having a good time, but he was like, hey dude, what's up? I'll take a second. And he walked me through it. Turns out it was user error, but he didn't make me feel stupid for it, which was cool. But
he knows better than that.
But those things happen, and so I guess as for everybody that's not out there, is that everybody gets that same kind of courtesy from EdgeTec. What are your plans for EdgeTec? Do you want to talk about those on here or no?
Lots of dreams, but all in time.
All in good time.
Not gonna let the cat out of the bag on that one yet.
That's fair.
Leave it up to mystery.
I like it. What's your website?
www.edgetectx.com.
EdgeTecTX.com. They are located at 9100 Ambassador Row in Dallas, and phone number is 214-742-5221.
That's correct. And we also have a mobile app, so everything you see on the website is on a mobile app for both iPhone and Android.
The app is good.
The mobile app is very cool.
It's been a great addition to EdgeTec and how we reach people and be able to showcase what we can do.
Very user friendly.
The EdgeTec mobile app is, we've been buying parts off of it, and speaking of parts guys are awesome. But the mobile app's very cool. So if you're thinking of upgrading your fleet or, stepping into heavy recovery or light duty recovery, you've never been in the business, think about your dealer as like you're hiring a partner in your business. Because if you don't have the right dealer, it's going to be a problem. I promise. I've been down that road. Having you guys as our local dealer and our ability to call and get our issues handled, I think we've probably bought in the neighborhood of 15, 20 trucks from you last.
Around the number, yeah.
I haven't had not a single comeback on. I think we had one PTO switch went bad, but I think it was a manufacturer defect on the PTO switch, which for what we do with our trucks, especially our light duty trucks that just work accidents all day, that's knock on wood. That's a big deal for us. So if you're looking for trucks, we buy from EdgeTec, and I hope you do too. But you really need to look at looking at that dealer as a partner in your business. And interview that dealer. Find out that dealer shares the values that you need as a company, and understands and values your business. Because there's dealers out there that don't value your business. That's important. If you have a good relationship, a dealer that cares, you know, gives you a hug every time you walk in like Chris does, you know, holds me, tells me it's going to be okay.
You earned it.
Thanks, buddy.
Well,
So-
I do want to add something else. You know, we've talked about some key people in the organization, but the big benefit and the difference maker for EdgeTec is the employees that we have, not just in service, but in the parts department, in accounting, administrative department, production department. We've got a phenomenal and great group of employees that they understand what the mission is. They understand that taking care of the customer is number one priority, and I think that's what you guys have seen over the last few years, and many other customers that we interact with every day.
Absolutely.
So it's not just not just me. It's not just any one person. It's the whole group, all pushing towards the same goal.
It's the culture
And,
you build.
it's the culture that we've been able to develop, and it's taken several years to get to that point. But extremely happy and very fortunate to have a group that I do.
Every time we walk in, we're greeted by
everybody
there.
Yeah.
Out of your department.
Yeah. Accounting has been easy to deal with. Getting our trucks registered and our paperwork from our trucks. And some dealers that takes some time. And
The paperwork today took no time.
Yeah, and then your parts department, I tell you all the time, and y'all know how I feel about your service department. But parts department is great because there's times that I call in and I'm like, I don't even know what the hell this thing is that I'm trying to get, but I can kind of explain it to you. And your guy, your guys, but the one that I generally deal with is Chris, and I think Chris is fairly new in the scope of being, he's been there, what, 3 or 4 years?
3 years.
3 years? So you wouldn't expect after 3 years to him to have the knowledge of the product line that he has, because it's a big product line.
Yeah.
And I can kind of explain to him over the phone, hey, it's, it's a bolt and it looks like this, and he's like, oh yeah, it's this part number, and you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've done some things internally to help shorten the learning curve in certain roles. Parts department being one of those, service department's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Every situation is a little bit different, but we've got a good support group kind of behind the scenes that helps identify what the root cause is and what's the best way to get it fixed and get a solution going and get you guys back on the road.
The understanding is what we like. They understand that not only do they understand
the record industry.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. You're not just buying a set of skates, like they understand what those skates are used for.
Yeah, the application of what they're selling is.
And that matters, because when you're calling and dealing with somebody, it's easy for somebody to go, yeah, I've got skates that are, $104.99 or whatever the price may be, but it's another thing for a guy to go, hey man, you need 4, right? Like I know you need 4, did you get a ball joint skate? Those kind of things that they actually understand, okay, these carriers need that. When you call in and tell them, how many willow straps for a 408, they know what you're talking about.
Correct.
So yeah, props to you. You've got
Makes a
great
difference.
group of guys.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And ladies,
growth.
sorry, not being sexist. We have a lady too. Unless she's mad at me, then she's
The lady.
But that never
a
happens.
lady. Never. She's never mad.
I've never been mad.
Well, I guess now let's
Look at this truck.
let's go check out an 1150.
You like your new ride? Yeah. Chris brought it special for you. It's did you see the fuel tank? Yeah, man.
Hey, so we got this thing running, but it doesn't drive.
So he put a aftermarket fuel tank for the nitrous.
Yep.
It's right here. It looks like a jug of oil, but it's really nitrous.
Okay.
So, but you can drive that one too if you want to.
It's your choice.
This is much more fun. So,
This is your backup.
everybody, if you haven't seen this guy before, his name's Big Tex. Big Tex, Brandon Rowe. Tell him about yourself. How long have you been doing this? 2.5 years? So 2.5 years in a rotator? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, in the record industry.
Okay, how long in a rotator? 2 years maybe? 2 years in a rotator. You ever gotten a new
Started
rotator?
I have not.
No? Okay. Well, we're not going to start today anyways. But we'll let you look at it.
Okay.
So, let's, Chris, let's look at your new truck. Chris also got you some other stuff in the front seat. That's pretty sweet. I like it. Oh, it gets better. You have to wear that while we do the video. You gotta at least show the video what it is. Can you just one time say howdy, folks? Howdy, folks.
If you know, you know.
Hey. So this is what he's. Now he's got to figure out how many of these there are.
Hey, little guy.
I'm going to tell him there's almost as many as the number truck that he started driving in.
We had them there. 1140 and our 1075, the first one that we had. So, it's different for me. Let's see that.
All right, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. That stuff helps us a lot. Let us know if you have any questions. If you ever need to reach us, you can reach us at Mike@allamericantowingtx.com or 940-627-2800. Thank you for watching.